Hi everybody. We're going to talk today briefly about place value and rules of exponents. So there's two rules of exponents that I want to remember. The first is zero power. Anything to the zero power equals 1. And you already have notes on this, so you don't really need to take these notes. You can kind of just watch. I will tell you when it's time to take notes. Okay, so zero power, anything to the zero power equals 1. And then, so for example, 10 to the zero power is another way of saying 1. Okay, and then our other rule that I want to remind you of is a negative exponent. You drop the, it means division. So if we have 10 to the negative 1, that means we're going to drop that base into the denominator and make the exponent positive. So 10 to the negative 1 is 1/10. Okay, so I just want to look at that. I'm going to erase this. If you're trying to copy notes, you can pause and copy the notes. You don't need these. You already have these notes. But I just want to look at 10 to the negative 1 again. So 10 to the negative 1 is 1/10, is 1/10. And if you remember how to convert that into a decimal, you divide the top by the bottom. If you did that on a calculator, you would get this. This is known as 1/10 because this is the tenths place. So another way to say 10 to the negative 1 is that this here is 10 to the negative 1 as a fraction. This is 10 to the negative 1 as a decimal. Okay, now let's just look at, oh, I forgot to warn you that I was erasing, sorry. Now let's just look at 10 to the negative 2. 10 to the negative 2 is 1 over 10 to the 2. That's 1 over 100. That's 1/100th. As a decimal, 1/100th is because the 1 is in the hundredths place. So another way to say 10 to the negative 2 is 0.01. So I'm going to show you on a place value chart. I'm going to erase this. We're going to go to a place value chart. And we're going to just look at our powers of 10. And so pretty much everybody was comfortable here. 10 is 10 to the 1. 100 is 10 to the 2. 1,000 is 10 to the 3. 10,000 is 10 to the 4. That's a 4. 100,000 is 10 to the 5. And 1,000,000 is 10 to the 6. Okay, and we talked about that being a benchmark, especially the million. 10 to the 6 as a million is a really good one to get remembered. So anything to the 0 power is 1, and that's why our 1 is 10 to the 0. Now we call our number system a base 10 number system, and I'm sure you've heard that before. And if you look, all of these have a base of 10. See? 10, 10, 10. The base is 10. And then each place value is another exponent of 10. Okay? So, changing the color back to red here. Tenths, 10 to the negative 1. Hundredths, 10 to the negative 2. thousandths 10 to the negative 3. Those are, I know it's coming out poorly. Sorry, guys. 10 thousandths 10 to the negative 4. I can't really quite write that little. 100 thousandths 10 to the negative 5. Millionths 10 to the negative 6. See how millions are 10 to the 6 and millionths are 10 to the negative 6, which is kind of hard to read there. Sorry. So I'm going to erase this. Two things to notice. So you probably do want to take notes on this part. So two things to notice. Positive powers of 10. These are numbers that are greater than 1. Okay, eventually we're going to be using powers of 10. I'm going to say used for very big numbers. Think like size of the universe, number of stars in the Milky Way, big things. So for example, number of stars in the Milky Way. We would use a power of 10 to talk about that. Okay? Size of the observable universe, 10 to the 26th. Definitely going to use a positive power of 10. Numbers greater than 1, used for very big numbers. And exponent matches, M-A-T-C-H-E-S, the number of zeros. So 10 to the 15th is a 1 with 15 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then you can put your commas in. Okay, I'm just going to show there that that's 15 zeros. And if you want to figure out what number that is, you can just say to yourself, ones, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillion. It's a 1 quadrillion. So you're not going to hear the word 1 quadrillion very much. You are going to hear 10 to the 15th. Because what this exponent does is it takes all those zeros and it packages it together in a neat little package. Much easier to deal with. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say about positive powers of 10. Okay, and so I'm going to erase. Negative powers of 10. Numbers less than 1, positive numbers less than 1. I can't erase that, so I'm just going to go like this. So these are decimals and fractions. Okay, used for very little numbers. Very small things. Sizes of atoms, sizes of DNA, things that you can see in a microscope. Okay, negative powers of 10 are used for very small things. Okay, the exponent matches the number of places after the decimal. Okay, so 10 to the negative 15 does not have 15 zeros. It has 15 places after the decimal. If you count the 0 before the decimal, it has 15 zeros, but it's going to be after the decimal, it's going to be 14 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and a 1. So it's 15 places after the decimal, whereas positive powers of 10 are the number of zeros. Okay, if you want to count zeros, you can, but you have to count the 0 that's before the decimal. Okay, so hopefully that clarifies some stuff for you and helps you do the work today. Thanks, guys.